We're gonna wrap it up in the South.
Okay.
This Outkast.
Mhm.
Are they the greatest hip hop group of all time, B Cox?
I have to say yes. And the reason why I say yes is because you just gotta look at their catalog. And like, no disrespect to Wu-Tang, no disrespect to Tribe Called Quest, who was my favorite hip hop group of all time. But when you look at Outkast's catalog, you can just go through from the first one all the way through the last one they put out. Where are you finding the catalog that competes with that? Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music, classic. ATLiens, classic. Aquemini, classic. Stankonia, most people will say is a classic. Some will say it's maybe just a step below, but incredible nonetheless. Speaker Box, Love Below, incredible album, and an album that did something that many hip-hop albums don't do, and winning the album of the year. You know? Diamond album. Lots of folks will even say that's a classic. And even if they don't say it's a classic, it's an essential album that has many classic tracks on it, or classic-worthy tracks on it. Even if you get to the very last album in their discography, which was Idlewild, that's the weak link in their discography. An album like Idlewild. And then look at the tracks that they had on Idlewild that were hits. The Mighty O, Morris Brown, Hollywood Divorce. I mean, so they had some hits there too. If you look at the catalog, you have the argument to say yes. Because how do you come out of the gate, your first 4 albums, and put out classics? And then how do you start being produced solely by Organized Noise? So moving into, by the time you get to your last album, you're handling the majority of the production yourself. And you still got the Dungeon Fam folks, Organized Noise, producing a couple of tracks here and there. But by the time they got to Stankonia, we're producing most of this shit ourselves. And you got to look at the quality of the work, man. And nobody's going to argue that. If you look at groups, I mean, look at any other group's catalog, right? Who has sustained success that they've had for as many albums as they've had? And if you look at the time period, it's not a long time period. 1994 to 2006, 12 years. Let's look at the other groups and other contenders in there, right? Okay. So we'll even start with Public Enemy. Public Enemy will go back in the day. Public Enemy, yeah, they had a couple of classic albums. To me, Take a Nation is to Hold Us Back and Fear of a Black Planet, at least in my opinion. You go and look at Wu-Tang. You have Forever. You have Enter 36 Chambers. A Tribe Called Quest. You have first 3 albums are probably considered classics. Definitely the middle 2 with Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders are undisputable classics.
Okay.
Mobb Deep got a nice little run there with Infamous, Murder Music, and Hell on Earth. You got a nice little run right there. Mm-hmm. How many other groups you saying really got the cachet to stand up next to Outkast's catalog? No. Not a lot. No. Those are the groups I named right there. Okay, maybe Run DMC. Okay, a few of their songs. Okay, maybe. But who has the quality of Outkast music catalog as a group? Nobody. And people will say Wu-Tang because of all the MCs that they had. Yeah, but man, those 2 albums they put out, I named those classics. Yeah, after that, it's a little, it's a little. You ain't got that with Outkast. Outkast literally went out on top of their game. And they literally broke up because one of them ain't really want rap no more. Let's be honest. Because Big Boi was still recording music after they decided to break up. And he put out great music after they broke up.
Big Boi kept getting better and better and better and better and better.
Oh, yeah. 100%. But to start from the beginning, from Southern Playalistic,
come on,
to get all the way down to Speaker Box Love Below, I mean, the transformation, first of all, artistically is amazing, right? It's crazy. The concepts that they come up. Each one of the albums a different concept. Southern Playalistic, one type of concept. ATLiens, crazy concept. Aquemini, crazy concept. Stankonia, crazy. Then you get Speaker Box and Love Below with the duality of the 2. I mean, I don't think there's a catalog group-wise that can stand up with Outkast. I think they have it. Now, you can argue about you want to put the quality of their albums up against some of the group's best albums, and we can have a conversation about that, man. But the prolonged success with the catalogs, if we're talking about out of 10, right? And if we want to talk about some out of all the albums they put out, let's say even the Source Mic system, if the lowest album they have is a 3.5, maybe 4 out of all those albums, and the rest are either 5 or 4.5. Come on, man. What are we really talking about here? And
because what are we really talking about, people?
And that's the frustrating thing about it, is because I felt like they had a lot more in the tank to go.
They did. I thought they did too.
That's what's frustrating about it. They had a lot more in the tank to go, and there's nothing afterwards. But if you're gonna go out like that. I would have been fine them going out after Speaker Box Love Below, to be quite honest. But that's what it is. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, to me, that's their last album. I mean, Idlewild is more so tied in. It's like a thing for the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, that you get an Outkast greatest hits out, truly greatest hits out, and you got a double disc of cuts on there, and they're coming up on the 30-year anniversary of their debut album this year with something playalistic as well. Crazy. I mean, 30 years we looked at what Outkast has done in music, and we're talking about now close to 18 years after they've put out their last album, and we're still looking at their catalog as bar none one of the best, if not the best.